My name is Linda, and this is my story, a journey of heartbreak, resilience, and ultimately, triumph. It all started 12 years ago when I met Kelvin at a wedding. He wasn't the wealthiest or the most handsome man in the room, but there was something about him that drew me in. We spent hours talking about life, dreams, and the future. I saw potential in him, a man who was determined to rise above his struggles. When he proposed 6 months later, I said yes without hesitation. We were young and broke, but I believed in his dreams. Together, we started our life in a tiny one-bedroom apartment. I worked as a teacher while Kelvin tried to establish a small business. Life wasn't easy, but we were happy. His family loved me, or so I thought. His mother would pray for me, and his sisters often praised me for standing by Kelvin. They called me a blessing. I believed them. The early years of our marriage were tough. Kelvin's business wasn't doing well, and my salary barely covered our bills. There were days when all we had for dinner was bread and tea, but we would laugh and dream about the big house we would one day own. Slowly, things began to change. Kelvin's business picked up, and we started saving for our future. I worked extra hours to support him. I even sold handmade crafts at the market to bring in extra money. When we finally started building our dream home, it felt like a miracle. But as Kelvin's business grew, so did his family's involvement in our lives. The first sign of trouble came during the 8th year of our marriage. Kelvin's family started visiting more often. At first, I thought they were just proud of him, but their visits turned into long stays. His mother began making subtle comments about how Kelvin could do better. I brushed it off, but then Kelvin began coming home late. He started dressing differently, smelling of cologne I didn't recognize. When I questioned him, he dismissed me. "You're overthinking, Linda," he said. "Stop imagining things." One evening, I overheard his mother talking to him. "You've outgrown her," she said. "Now that you're successful, you need a woman who matches your status." Then came the day that shattered everything. Kelvin came home with a woman named Anita and introduced her as his friend. My instincts told me otherwise, but I said nothing. Within weeks, Anita moved into our bedroom. Kelvin ordered me to pack my belongings and move into one of the children's rooms. His mother and sisters supported him, treating Anita like royalty while ignoring me. The humiliation was unbearable. I had supported this man through everything, and now I was being thrown aside like an old piece of furniture. Life became a nightmare. Kelvin stopped providing for our children, claiming they weren't his. His family accused me of infidelity, and Anita acted like she owned the house. They even took over the kitchen, leaving me to cook for my children on a small gas stove in the children's room. But I refused to break. I played with my children in our little space, making it a haven of love and laughter. I overheard Kelvin's mother say, "She's pretending to be happy, but we'll break her soon." That's when I knew I had to act. I started looking for an apartment in secret. Every time Kelvin and his family left the house, I moved small items to the new place. It took months, but I finally had a home for my children and me. The night before I planned to leave, I called a family meeting. They all gathered, expecting me to beg for forgiveness. Instead, I thanked them. "I want to thank you for teaching me resilience," I said. "You've shown me that I don't need anyone's approval to be strong." Kelvin's mother looked stunned. "You're leaving?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "And this time, I'm not coming back." The next morning, as I was loading the last of our belongings into a van, Kelvin blocked my path. "Don't do this, Linda," he pleaded. "We can fix this. I'll send Anita away. You can raise her baby." I looked him in the eye and said, "Kelvin, you broke me in ways I never thought possible. You brought another woman into our home, onto our bed. You abandoned your children. How do you expect me to forget all that? He had no answer. My children and I moved into our new home that day. It wasn't as big or as fancy as the house I had built with Kelvin, but it was filled with love and peace. I started a small catering business, and within months, it became successful. My children thrived in the new environment, their laughter filling every corner. Meanwhile, Kelvin's life fell apart. Anita left him shortly after giving birth, taking a large chunk of his money. His business collapsed, and his family turned on each other, blaming one another for their misfortunes. Kelvin often tried to contact me, begging for another chance, but I had moved on. I had built a life of strength and independence, one that no betrayal could shake. Looking back, I've learned some powerful lessons from my journey. 1. Never lose yourself, always have your own identity and independence, even in marriage. Don't let anyone define your worth. 2. Silence isn't weakness, staying calm in the face of betrayal isn't weakness, it's strength. Use that silence to plan your next move. 3. Children are your strength, no matter how difficult life gets, focus on your children. They are your joy and your legacy. 4. Trust your instincts. When something feels wrong, trust your gut. It's often telling you what your heart refuses to accept. 5. Let go and move on. Holding on to pain only hurts you. Forgive, not for them, but for yourself, and move forward with grace and dignity. Thank you for listening to my story. If it touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories. Until next time, stay blessed.